What is up, medical professionals? Logan here with Healthcare Stress Relief, and this video is for my nurses, my doctors, my RTs, my paramedics. Where you at? Woo woo. Got a question right here from a nurse working night shift. I'm a night shift nurse working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and all I do is sleep. Would this be any different if I switch to days? I can only tell you from my own personal experience, the switch from night shift to day shift is night and day, pun intended, a million times better. And I was never a daytime person, used to always go to bed late, but I realized my body, when I switched to days, it just, for lack of a better term, it woke up. It felt better, I had way more energy. There's a lot of reasons for that. I'm gonna dive in this video to the 9 reasons why you need to jump into day shift if you're a night shift worker. But first, I'm just gonna talk a little bit more about night shift in general. From my own experience, what I noticed with night shift is it's a little bit slower, and that can attract some laziness with some of your coworkers. So if you're a high performer and you want to like really jump in and learn a bunch of stuff, day shift is the best because there's so many more modalities around that you can learn from. With that being said, a lot of people will go to night shift. It's good for new grads as well to go night shift because it's a little slower, but a lot of people will go to night shift because they're a little bit lazier. And from my own experience, I'm not saying this is in every hospital, but in the hospitals I worked in, there's a lot more obesity in the professionals who are working night shift. And that's because of the metabolic issues that it can cause. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the 9 reasons why day shift is better for you mentally and physically than night shift right now. So 1, circadian rhythm. It's disrupted when you're working night shift. Even if you are having a nice sleep hygiene routine, which I had, your melatonin is still gonna be suppressed a little bit. And that can cause a multitude of issues in the long run. Number 2, higher risk of breast cancer and many other cancers. They found in various studies that women who worked night shift for 5 years consecutively had like a 3% risk of breast cancer. Doesn't sound very, very high, but when you compound that over time and work 20 years, you're gonna have cancer, which for me, I don't I don't necessarily want to have a higher risk for anything negative. So number 3, heart attack, increased heart disease. Number 4, increased risk of depression when I was working night shift. I tried actually to stay on a night shift schedule so that my body wasn't going up and down all the time. A lot of my coworkers, they would work 3 in a row and then they basically have a day of just trying to reset, and then they go back into days with their family and stuff. And that's only 2-3 days, and then they would jump back into night shift. And for me, that was so chaotic. So I just stayed on a night shift schedule, but the problem was I wasn't getting enough sunlight, and I started to develop depression. Number 5 would be higher risk of injury. Even with all the hospital lights and all that stuff, your body is just a little bit off. I found that my body, no matter what I did, all of the healthy activities I was engaging in, night shift just made me a little more antsy and fatigued. So I wasn't thinking clearly. I remember one night I just made a bonehead mistake, leaving a syringe on a patient's PICC line. A big no-no. I caught the error before anything happened, but that was from working like 4 night shifts in a row. When I switched to day shift, less mistakes, for sure. Number 6 would be metabolic changes. This goes back to obesity. One of the big things is leptin, one of your hormones that balances your cravings, that is blocked. And so I found myself on night shift. All my coworkers were bringing in really crappy food, and I'd be eating donuts at like 3 o'clock in the morning. When I switched over to day shift, I felt much better, and I could make healthier choices with my food, which allowed me to feel better and also fight off gaining any weight. Number 7 goes hand in hand with number 6, risk of obesity and diabetes. None of us want that. Number 8, higher risk of GI problem, diarrhea, GI cancer in the long term, and a lot of people that I worked with were having acid reflux issues. Number 9 encompasses a lot of the issues we talked about earlier, but it's vitamin D deficiency. You can supplement with vitamin D, but the vitamins are not going to be as effective as sunlight, and it's so much harder to get sunlight if your shift starts my shift was starting at 5 a.m. I'd get off at 5:30 p.m. Sun's already down. I could get sun on my days off, but not enough, and vitamin D from the sun is one of the most important things to prevent heart disease and cancer. So those are the 9 reasons why you should switch to day shift. If you have any of your own anecdotal experience about your own experience with night shift, why you love it, why you hate it, go ahead and comment that below. Would love to hear your feedback, and I will talk to y'all later.